relatives. Don't forget to subscribe.
The story of Samson. A long time ago, the Israelites were under the control of the Philistines for 40 years because they had done wrong things. In a town called Zorah, there lived a man named Manoah and his wife. They were very sad because they couldn't have any children. One day, the angel of the Lord appeared to Manoah's wife and said, "You will have a baby boy, but be careful, don't drink any wine or eat anything unclean. No razor must touch his head, because the boy will be a Nazirite, set apart for God from birth. He will begin to save Israel from the Philistines." The woman ran to tell her husband. Manoah prayed to God, asking for the angel to come again. God sent the angel again, and Manoah asked, "How should we raise the boy?" The angel told them the same instructions: no wine, no unclean food, and never cut his hair. When the angel left, they realized they had seen an angel of God. Soon, the woman gave birth to a baby boy and named him Samson. He grew up, and the Spirit of the Lord began to work in him while he lived in Mahanadan, between Zorah and Eshtal. Samson wants a wife from Timnah. When Samson grew older, he went down to Timnah and saw a young Philistine woman. He came back home and told his parents, "I have seen a Philistine woman in Timnah. Get her for me as my wife." His parents were surprised and asked, "Isn't there a woman among our own people you can marry?" But Samson said, "Get her for me. She's the right one for me." His parents didn't know that God was using this to begin his plan against the Philistines. Samson kills a lion. As Samson went to Timnah again, a young lion came roaring at him. The Spirit of the Lord gave Samson great strength, and he tore the lion apart with his bare hands, just as easily as someone tears cloth. But he didn't tell his parents what he had done. Later, when he returned, he saw bees and honey inside the lion's body. He scooped out the honey, ate some, and gave some to his parents, but didn't tell them where it came from. The wedding and the riddle. At the wedding feast in Timnah, Samson gave the Philistine men a challenge. "Let me tell you a riddle. If you can solve it in 7 days, I'll give you 30 linen garments and 30 sets of clothes. But if you can't, you must give me 30 sets of clothes." The riddle was, out of the eater came something to eat. Out of the strong came something sweet. For 3 days, they couldn't figure it out. On the 4th day, they pressured Samson's wife, saying, "Get the answer from Samson, or we'll burn you and your father's house." Samson's wife cried and begged him for 7 days. Finally, on the 7th day, he told her, and she told the Philistines. The men said to Samson, "What is sweeter than honey? What is stronger than a lion?" Samson knew they had cheated, so he angrily replied, "If you had not plowed with my heifer, you would not have solved my riddle." Then the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully on him. He went down to Ashkelon, killed 30 men, took their clothes, and gave them to the winners of the riddle. He was so angry. He went back to his father's house, and his wife was given to another man. Samson burns the Philistines' fields. Later, Samson went to visit his wife, but her father said, "I gave her to your best man, but her younger sister is prettier, marry her instead." Samson was furious. He caught 300 foxes, tied them tail to tail in pairs, and fastened torches between each pair of tails. He set the torches on fire and let the foxes run through the Philistines' grain fields, vineyards, and olive groves, burning everything. The Philistines were angry and burned Samson's wife and her father. Samson fought them and killed many. Then he went to hide in a cave in the rock of Etam. Samson with a jawbone. The Philistines went up to Judah to capture Samson. The men of Judah came to Samson and said, "Don't you know the Philistines rule over us?" They tied Samson up with 2 new ropes to hand him over. When the Philistines came shouting at him, the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully on him again. He broke the ropes like threads. He found a fresh donkey's jawbone, picked it up, and killed one, 0 Philistines. Afterward, Samson was very thirsty and prayed, "Lord, you gave me this victory. Now will I die of thirst?" God opened a hollow place, and water flowed out for Samson to drink. He was refreshed and ruled Israel as a judge for 20 years during the Philistine oppression. Samson and Delilah. Later, Samson fell in love with a woman named Delilah in the valley of Sorek. The Philistine rulers offered Delilah 100 pieces of silver each if she could discover the secret of his strength. Delilah asked Samson, "Tell me how you can be tied up." "First," he said, "tie me with 7 fresh bowstrings." She did, but he broke free. Then he said, "Tie me with new ropes." She tied him, but he snapped them off. Then he said, "Weave 7 locks of my hair into the loom." She did, but he escaped again. Each time she cried, "You don't love me. You keep lying to me." Finally, Samson gave in and told her, "If you shave my hair, I will lose my strength." Delilah knew he told the truth. She called the Philistines. While Samson slept, she had his 7 locks shaved off. His strength left him. The Philistines captured him, poked out his eyes, and made him grind grain in prison. The Philistines gathered in the temple of Dagon to celebrate. They brought blind Samson to entertain them. The temple was crowded about 3,000 men and women on the roof watching. Samson asked a servant to place his hands on the 2 main pillars. Then he prayed, "Lord God, remember me. Strengthen me just once more. Let me get revenge on the Philistines for my eyes." Samson pushed with all his might. The pillars fell, and the temple collapsed, killing everyone inside. Samson died too. He killed more Philistines when he died than while he lived. His brothers came and buried him between Zorah and Eshtal in his father Manoah's tomb. What we learn from Samson: even though Samson made mistakes, God still used him to help Israel. His strength came from God, not from his hair alone. We can trust God's power in our lives too.